Alright everyone, welcome back again. I can't help but imagine Saber pouring over every wrinkle with an iron in one hand.
いいのかな、セイバーにそんなことさせて。
セイバーさんも皆さんの役に立ちたいと思ってるみたいですから。あ、私が教えても構いませんか？
できればお手柔らかに。
ライダーはできますよって言えば、セイバーさんも負けず嫌いだから覚えますよ、必ず。
The atmosphere lightens up.
さて、じゃあさくら、ズボン取ってくるから。
はい。先輩。
Sakura stops me with the jacket still in her lap, with a slight blush on her cheeks.
先輩、3月でもう卒業ですよね。
あ
あ。卒業式の時に第2ボタン誰かにあげるのをもう約束してますか？
Turns out our school has that custom as well of giving away the second button to a girl after graduation. But seeing how it's still a ways off, I haven't even thought about it.
あ、ないけど。
よかった。
さくらくらいしかあげる下級生いないからな。
If you really want it, that is.
私なんかにもったいないです。
もったいなくない。今だってさくらが世話してくれてるじゃないか、俺の制服。
これはいいです。ちょっと気になっただけですから。はい、アイロン準備しますから先輩もお願いします。
She promptly shoos me out of her room. Looks like I'm not supposed to pry any further. I guess I'll go back to my room and get my pants then. Nighttime again. Oh, we're going out for a walk. With Saber. Ooh. Crossing the bridge, we head over to Shinto. There's nobody on the pedestrian walkway at this hour. Tonight, with no cars on the roadway, the sound of the breeze from the sea echoes around us.
懐かしいな。あの時もこうやってセイバーと教会に行ったんだっけ？
ええ、まだマスターの自覚がなかった素人、まだあなたのサーバントになっていなかった私と、まだ敵であったリン。こうして振り返ると、さぞおかしな3人組だったのでしょうね。
Saber chuckles. Both of us were laughing from the memories of that night half a year ago. I remember it even now. No, I'll remember it for the rest of my life. That night was special. All of the time I spent with Saber during the Holy Grail War was special, but that night was the beginning of it all.
けどセイバー不機嫌だったよな。あの夜は初対面であんまり話せなかったけど、教会に向かう時は輪をかけて無言だったっていうか。
不機嫌にもなります。今だから言いますが、あの扱いには怒りを覚えたものです。変装させるのなら他にやりようがあったのではないですか？
I see. Milady Saber was displeased by the yellow raincoat, Then again, she's using it quite often. Is that some type of silent protest against me?
何やら言いたいことがあるようですね。いいでしょう。あの時の謝罪を兼ねて、ここで決着をしろ。
Sword bounces against light. The aftershock causes the air in the bridge supports to vibrate.
下がって。敵サーバントの攻撃です。
The second shot. I can't grasp what's happening. Saber stands in front of me, repelling the incoming bolts of light with her sword. Where are they coming from? I can't tell.
敵サーバントだって。くそ、一体どこのドイツが。
The third shot. Saber once again deflects the bolt of light. This is not good. That one was definitely more powerful than before. She managed to defend against the last shot, but if the rest keep increasing in force, how long will Saber be able to hold out? If Saber were alone, she would have moved forward while deflecting the bolts and could probably take the sniper down before she is defeated. But the one being targeted is me. The moment Saber moves away, I'll be pierced right through. As long as Saber's protecting me, she can't move forward. No. In the worst case, we may not even be able to retreat to Miyama, and because of me, one of those shots will...
シロ、敵の攻撃は私が防ぐ。今はそのまま動かないでください。
The fourth shot. There's urgency in her voice. The enemy knows that I am her weakness. Saber takes an unreasonable posture as she deflects the bolts of light raining down on wide open Emiya Shiro. At this rate, Saber is going to lose. I know what needs to be done. In short, defending myself is my own responsibility. I focus my nerves. I can see the incoming shots, and if they can be seen, they can be stopped. The old me may not be capable of it, but the Emiya Shiro that survived through the Holy Girl War must have the experience and ability to make that possible. And then the fifth and final shot. Saber is knocked off her feet. No doubt about it. These bolts of light are long-range shots using noble phantasms. No matter how powerful she may be, Saber cannot defend against long-range sharp shooting where each bullet is a noble phantasm. If Saber were alone, she could have avoided any number of them without having to deflect them with her sword.
Saber, 危ない!
ダメだシロ、私なら一撃くらい。
No, you can't. Saber will be defeated by the sixth shot. That's the conclusion drawn from the method of defense.
なめるな、俺だって。
I can watch my own back. I glare at our attacker. I see the light being fired, aimed at my forehead. I see it. Now that I see it next, I totally forgot. What was I supposed to do next? Were you sniped in the forehead? I screwed up. What was it? What did I do wrong? Was I forgetting something, or have I not learned something yet? Or had I missed that fundamental part of the skills possessed by the man named Emiya Shiro? My brain comes oozing out from the hole in my head. Nope, so you were shot in the head. I can't really hear what she's saying. What should have been done? And what was it that I forgot? My mind is becoming distant. I drop out of the race without even reaching the 4th day. This still wasn't enough. Perhaps I could use it because I hadn't tried it and just took knowing it for granted. Now, where do I go to fully grasp the fundamental abilities of Emiya Shiro? That's a weird thing to say. Dead bad end. Well, obviously. Something is missing. Who am I? To restore the memory, I must understand once again. Alright, here we go. Oh, we're in 3 now. Dialogue, Mobius link. How many resurrections does this make, I wonder? I can hear voices. They curse at me. The one who, while sinking into death, fell past it again and again. Unable to escape death, they cry that it's unfair that I get to live again. My entire body hurts. Hurts enough to suffocate. The voices of accusations beset me. Die. Give up. Serves you right. I can't see. They grow stronger each time I hear them. I want to die. I can't stand this. Filthy. Disgusting. I can't see anything. I want to die. I don't want to hear this. If I have to go through this, I don't want to come back to life. But I even got used to that. Die. Then get over it and kill me. Laughable. Then go ahead and enjoy yourself. Repent. Yes, I've already repented again and again. It's your fault. Right, it's all somebody's fault. Disgusting. That's because I'm not dressed up. Inhuman. This mirror is foggy. Demon. Yes, that's right. A human isn't capable of doing this. I'm guessing we're back to Bazette and Avenger. I move past the many voices and begin to breathe again. It's not that painful from here on. Rather, I can feel even relief. As long as I get away from the prison, what comes next is close to the joy of birth. Prison, yes. That place matches the description of a prison. Slander, insults, derision. The stripling of human rights, dignity, and freedom. An afterlife derived from that should be known to any person. Suffering for an eternity without pause. In Buddhism, it's called the hell of uninterrupted suffering. But that is vaguely different from where I came from. There wasn't only pain. That place had eternity and emptiness. Both were beyond reach and had no meaning even if they weren't. That's why it was painful. Because even if I gained them from some miracle, I could never understand what was meant for human hands to hold. I raised my body from the sofa. Still feeling drained after a resurrection that I've dealt with for the umpteenth time, I check if I have control of my left hand.
よう、目覚めたか、マスター。
The now typical morning greeting from my servant. He is sitting with his back turned away, still working on his puzzle, apparently. It could be solved in just a matter of minutes, but he must have taken a liking to it. That part of him is just like a child's. If only that innocence showed in his regular behavior.
確認しますが、私はアサシンと相打ちになったのですか？
いや、一方的に負けたよ。あんたの右ストレートは空振って、野郎のザバーニーヤがあんたの頭を吹っ飛ばした。すごかったぜ。パンって脳みそが破裂して上半身が吹っ飛ばされてた。脳を丸ごと火薬に変えて体を吹き飛ばすなんて手の込んだ殺し方だよな。脳みそ掴んだならそのまま引きずり出して終わりだってのに。
My servant's prattling on cheerfully. I imagine my body without its upper half and sicken myself as a result. I recall my fight with Assassin. I met Assassin's master by accident at the forest behind the school. The enemy consisted of just one lone master. As I saw no servant, I charged into combat. The enemy master was a skilled doll user and controlled countless automata as if they were his own limbs. The French dolls equipped with precise killing mechanisms were a threat, but I was well acquainted with how to deal with dolls. I also have experience fighting in a free-for-all with the monsters nesting in the city, so it's a simple matter to overwhelm the master. If only one of the dolls had not worn a skull mask.
まさかサーバント。
The moment I realized what he was, I was hit by multiple poisonous needles. Assassin, a class where one specific heroic spirit is chosen, but whose abilities change with each Holy Grail war. As the name, that was the source of the word assassin, was the one multiple assassins inherited. A different one would become an assassin for each war. Assassin is a group, not one being. And of them, the assassin selected this time was a midget of height no taller than up to the adult's knees. Was he like that when he was alive? Or was this a special characteristic exaggerated by becoming a servant? Assassin did not have the build of a dwarf that would appear in a fairy tale. He had a form as cultivated as that of an acrobat. He could have been a clown from a circus, a worthless heroic spirit with a small body. However, it was a strong advantage for the class of assassin. Not only did it make detecting his presence difficult, the area that could be hit was overwhelmingly small. His speed was among the fastest of the servants. Tracking his body racing through the trees with unmodified eyes was difficult. In addition, the reason for the name was the one-hit noble phantasm he possessed. By the time I fully understood the advantage I had on this terrain, the poison had immobilized my legs. I was confident that I could catch him on a flat plain with nowhere to hide, but in the forest with many obstructions, I was helpless. Knowing that, I made my final bet using my life as a gambling chip. I used the left side of my body to lure Assassin out of the shadow of the trees. Assassin would judge that I could not retaliate and then move towards my left side at lightning speed. I would then counterattack with a full force straight right into him. timing was perfect. The charging assassin couldn't dodge either right or left and couldn't completely nullify the effects of the impact by blocking. That was the drawback of having a small body. Yet not even that slowed him down. Just before impact, he jumped and landed on my fist with a comical plop. On my straight right, the one I prided on having a speed of 80 kilometers an hour, and as a counter no less.
嘘。
I do have a rich record of sorts in combat, but this was the first time that I had seen an enemy scuttle towards me on my arm. It brought to mind images of unbelievably miraculous deeds such as standing on top of a lance. Assassin extended his left hand into my face and my consciousness was cut off at that point.
悪夢だ。
I mutter.
どうした？まだ体が硬いのか？
いえ、調子は万全です。蘇生にも慣れましたから。
So that's how she died.
今の胸焼けはあなたのおかげです。最後の瞬間、アサシンの手が額に触れた感触を思い出しまして。
あ、そうか。悪い悪い。気が利かなくて申し訳ない。
Cackling, he continues with his puzzle. What he's really laughing at is my own failure. This is nothing like teasing. That man is a host to a personality disorder that makes him laugh over sad news as much as over anything comical.
いいです。そちらにも慣れましたから。それでアベンジャー、あなたが私をここまで運んできたのですか？
いや、俺も殺された。二人一緒に一日前の今に戻ったわけだ。やられたのは0時ジャストだったからな。
There's been almost no progress. How many days have passed since I woke up in this mansion? We haven't even passed the 4th night yet. Perhaps out of disappointment with myself, I grasped the earring in my pocket unconsciously. I took it with me when I left my country. It's probably some kind of protective charm. I don't remember why I had brought it, but it must be something like an amulet, judging by how carefully I kept it tucked away.
しかし、ありゃマスターのせいじゃないぜ。あのアサシンが変すぎたんだよ。あんたの拳、確かに当たってたしな。ま、気に病むことはないんじゃない？あんたは俺っていうハンデがあるんだ。初戦で相手に宝具を使わせたのは称賛に値する。
気休めです。いくら前線しようと死んでしまっては何にもなら。
No, that's our advantage. I haven't made full use of it yet, but this serving can bring the dead back to life. As long as our contract is still in effect, I will continue to be resurrected.
そうか。この方法でも問題はない。いえ、むしろこれがあなたの武器だ。利用しない手はない。私たちは相打ちでいいのですね。
By gaining information on the enemy like this, eventually we will be able to defeat them using the appropriate preparations to ensure victory.
これで有利なのは私たちだ。アサシンの特徴が分かった以上、あとはいかに平地におびき寄せるかだけ。
I clench my right fist. At this rate, I don't have to wait for the enemy masters to be weakened. A perfect victory is achievable. If I eliminate them one by one straight out, even the association would treat me a lot.
割と順応してるんだな、マスター。こんなに負けが続いてるんだ。てっきり落ち込んでるか、俺の不甲斐なさに呆れてるのかと思ったんだが。
いえ、それは確かにそうなのですが。
Come to think of it, what am I thinking? Even if I do have this ability, I have been defeated again and again. I'm becoming careless. Had I tried hard enough, I should have been able to defeat Assassin. But instead, I'm taking my time, prolonging the final battle until I feel that I've learned enough about his abilities. It is as if... No, that couldn't be true. As the representing magus of the association, I am only fighting battles that can't be lost.
ま、日数を重ねてるわけじゃねえからいいけどさ、時間を幾分無駄に使ってるよな、俺たち。
The servant stands up. Leaving the puzzle unfinished, he walks towards the entranceway.
続けようぜ、マスター。まだ調べてない場所があるだろう。
Led on by the servant, I also rise up from the sofa. Carrying rock over my shoulder, I grip the earring in my pocket one more time and leave for the Holy Grail War. This is gonna be a little sudden, but Bazette Fraga Rakmemets is one weird lady. Her outsides and her insides are weird, first of all. They don't match. Now on the outside, she looks like my personal favorite, the dignified, mature woman. What's on the inside, though, is a lowly coward with no self-esteem. To hide that, she puts her body and psyche through some rigorous training. My guess? Nah, rather. What I'd like to be true is that she's the kind of woman that likes bullying herself. Has to be that. Yep, after all, she was able to put herself through more training than normal. The able woman armor she built up out of all that is sure is a tough one. Good looks and structural strength all but guaranteed. Except if you want to be able to move wearing a suit of armor, it's gotta have a few gaps, and that's where I sometimes get the opportunity to see the real Bazette peeking through. I don't have to bother saying what that's like. Anything protected by a suit of armor for years ought to be kinda like smooth-boiled egg without a shell. Refreshingly cute enough to make me want to munch parts of it away. But the thing is, no matter how adorable the insides might be, the armor she built up for over 10 years is too damn stubborn. Once she gets into a mission, battle mode, any man would probably drop whatever fantasies or lust he could possibly have for her. Here's an example that just happened.
空腹になりました。食事をとりましょう。
That came out of nowhere. After beating the crap out of 3 monsters, she said that as if she was measuring her pulse.
あなたも付き合いなさい。私からの魔力提供だけでは味気ないでしょ。
Said a master that was awfully caring for a servant. Except, the place she barged into without any hesitation was the beef bowl store right in front of us. Even I knew about this, the cheapest, worst, and most common place to eat in Shinto. Just so you know, even if there was nobody around, there were other places to get a meal. There was even one of those expensive places that seemed like they'd suit Bazette just 100 meters ahead. But she still picked the place in front of us. No mistake, she picked it because it just happened to be the closest one around.
何か不満でも。
いや、不満というか、不思議というか。
では行きましょう。実体化を忘れないように。
There was no stopping her. In the end, Bazette paid for the food coupon in a snap. Got beef bowls and miso soup for 2, gobbled it all up down in 3 minutes flat and went outside.
やはり何か不満でも。
不満つうか、不思議つうか。
量は多かったですね。スープは余分でした。ですが、調理時間が1分弱というのは素晴らしい。次からはあの店を利用しましょう。
That's all she had to say about it. She saw mealtime as nothing more than a way to get nutrition. Unrefined and unreasonable is what it was. We were looking at the base of one of the known masters. After a thorough investigation, we judged that no one was inside.
アベンジャー、扉のロックを解除できますか？
まあ割と単純なやつなら解析はできるかな。けどあんたがやった方が確実だぜ。教会屈指の魔術師なんだろ。
鍵開けは得意分野ではありません。あなたに任せます。
And that's how I ended up doing it. My master is weak at this kind of delicate work apparently. Made for total violence she is.
じゃ、任された。少し時間もらうぞ。ここのはちょい厄介なんだ。
I shoved my arm into roots of a tree in the garden that sat to the side of the entryway. Astral buys are useful for stuff like this. I can overlay my own circuits onto magic somehow. 10 seconds. 20 seconds. 30 seconds. 40 seconds.
うわあ！何してんだあんた！
She just plain out smashed the whole damn thing to oblivion.
侵入します。援護。
That was her only excuse. Now that wasn't even an explanation, and more importantly, this wasn't a raid. Putting her leather gloves on, Bazette charged into the enemy's base with no hesitation. Unrefined, unreasonable, and lazy is truly what it was. We finally reached the park. Physically, I'm only a little tired, but mentally, I'm exhausted. If I could materialize, I'd be able to cut the physical fatigue, but since I can't, I have to walk on my bare materialized feet.
水
I head for the park fountain. There are drops of white liquid on the road, starting from the top of the hill and leading to where I am now. That's right, it's the traces of milk that I've been soaked with.
おい離れてんなよ。俺たちは協力関係だろ。もっと近くに寄れよマスター。
I swivel around. Whoa, Bazette of all people is laughing.
あのよ、これあんたの無鉄砲な行動の結果なんだけどな。マスターの危機をかばってこうなったわけ。ついでに言うと、館の風呂もそこらの民家の風呂も使うなってんで、ここまで降りてきたのもあんたの指示なんだけどさ。
So I followed all of her instructions, and this was my reward. What kind of spoiled princess does she think she is?
それは感謝しています。あなたがかばってくれなかったら私がそうなっていた。
Like hell you are. Shit, I think I'm gonna have to give her a big hug to not leave her out of the fun.
どうしましたアベンジャー。水道はあっちですよ。ミルクでも目に入りましたか？
I'm so gonna kill you. If we're gonna run with the cow theme, I wanna give Bull vs. Matador a try then again. There's no way I'd ever catch the walking weapon.
あくそ、あんなトラップ黙っとけばよかったんだ。あーつまんねえ。イベント見逃した。いや、本気で損したとなんか。マスターみたいな可愛げのない女がミルクに溺れるなんて、すげえ美味しい絵面じゃんか。
アベンジャー、マスターとしての命令です。くだらないことを言っていないで、早く体を洗いなさい。
Alright, I say, and go to remove the filth from my body. Once the excess is removed, I can dematerialize. While I'm covered with that milk, dematerialization is impossible. Could have been an anti-servant trap, but it might also have had a more dramatic effect on a normal body. Anyway, we hadn't found anything worthwhile in that mansion, and on the way out, it's activated when the intruders leave, I bet. We set off the trap in the entranceway.
しかし、なんだって牛乳なんだよ。この国じゃ動物の乳に魔除け信仰でもあんのかよ。ねえよな。本気でただの嫌がらせじゃねえのかこれ。
どうでしょうね。けど相手にも慈悲はあります。物が取れたての新鮮な牛乳で助かりましたね、アベンジャー。
She points out the silver lining to this while smothering her laughter. That's not what the problem is, lady. We continue our patrol to kill the monsters and to find the masters. Bazette wanders the city under the pretense of both. What a roundabout way of doing things. This isn't to win the war. Bazette's looking for something else. What makes it roundabout is the fact that Bazette herself doesn't realize it. She's anxious because she can't totally forget that. Makes me want to have a certain idiot who forgot about his own power follow her example.
Oh.
She's acting a little strange. Wait, was he referring to Shiro? Maybe she had some bad experiences at a harbor after looking at the sea for some time.
アベンジャー、私たちは多くのマスターと戦ってきた。セイバー、アーチャー、キャスター、ライダー、アサシン、そしてあなた。まだ直接出会っていない敵はアインツベルンのマスターとサーバントだけです。
そうなるな。今んとこ全部黒星ってのがパッとしねえ話だけど。
ええ、明確な勝利はまだ一度もない。いかに相手が破格の使いまであるサーバントといっても誇れたことではありません。
Bazette grits her teeth. Not from the pain of defeat, but because she's trying to rouse herself.
弱気になっているのは分かっています。それでもあなたの意見を聞かせてほしい。私たちは勝てると思う。戦力的に劣るのが事実でもこうして繰り返していけばいつか。
One of these days we should win the war, right? Her eyes ask. We're losing because we don't have enough experience. If Bazette uses me a little for fighting, and if I tell her what my real noble phantasm is, there is no servant we can't handle. Well, we'll pick up Victory Parent of Swords anyway, whether we want one or not, so I really don't need to tell her now, but...
いつか負けることはなくなるだろう。